Dr. Connors is looking at it in the microscope.
Yes.
And the symbiote cell's like pushing other cells away from it. Just being a dick.
A bully cell. Just like, fuck you and your mitochondria. Fuck you and your lysosomes. I'm fucking Venom, dude.
Hey, man, did you take a 7th grade science class recently? Because you're doing A-okay on those cellular parts.
It can't be that bad, oh, 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 it can't be that bad. Woo! Spider-Man, Spider-Man, everybody loves Spider-Man. Everybody loves Spider-Man. Wasn't there there was an Asian woman singing that?
Was it the first one or the second one?
One of the two.
I don't know. We were trying to figure this out earlier.
But she was plucking the violin. And
Wasn't it in the subway?
No, the subway was the guy with the guitar.
Oh, that's right.
And I think she was on the corner of a street.
A lot of people know the Spider-Man song in this movie, in the whole trilogy.
Yeah.
Which, as I was saying before we started recording, that means there's a song that's been written for a long time that everybody knows. They know it in China. They know it in guitar lessons. Marching bands are learning it. And then here comes Spider-Man, and everybody's just like, I think we got a song already for this.
Whoa, this is crazy. We didn't really envision him in a blue and red suit. We actually thought it was a grotesque Spider-Man.
It was actually a really scary song before you came along.
It was a horror song to put children to sleep.
To scare them to sleep.
This movie is not that bad. It's not that bad. It gets a lot of flack, and I was talking to Alan about it, but only in comparison to the previous two.
Yes. It is kind of bad, though. That's why the whole movie is a meme now.
Yes, lot of it.
Every single scene has been plucked into a meme now.
Here's what I think. I think the first hour and 10 minutes are solid, but once Eddie Brock comes into the situation and Spider-Man gets a little emo because of the symbiote,
that's the best part.
In a different perspective, as a comedy film, amazing. But as
Spider-Man,
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Spider-Man's supposed to be a funny dude, though, right?
I'm not like this,
not
though.
like that,
this
though.
is a weird take
right.
on Spider-Man's comedy.
Yeah, I mean, this was just still very entertaining.
Yeah. Of course,
still one of the better than any DC film that has come out that was not directed by Zack Snyder. I would say this movie.
What do you say, Alex?
Yeah, okay, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Still solid.
Right,
Sam Raimi, he still did a solid job. It's just a little too convoluted.
I don't know if that's necessarily his fault, though. I mean, he worked really hard on this. Did you catch his cameo?
No. I don't know. I don't know how Sam Raimi looks.
Crazy looking guy. We'll get to it.
I'm sure.
Welcome.
Hey, welcome to another episode of ICBTB Podcast.
My name is Alejandro.
My name's Christian.
And over there, that's Alan McBoo-Boo.
And he's actually on camera today. So hop on YouTube.
I don't know how
if you want to see
man.
that chiseled jawline.
Oh, man.
And then also, if you want to see Alan, he's there too. We watched a movie that has been quite the talk of town recently.
Yeah,
right? A lot of people are talking about
sure.
these movies, and it's a fancy film known as Spider-Man 3.
So rumors are that Tobey Maguire is going to be popping up in the new Spider-Man movie.
That's the rumor, man.
How's he gonna look though? How does he look now?
We don't know because he hasn't been in front of the camera for a long time.
See, that's weird because Doc Ock is young, right?
Yeah.
In the trailer, so. But he I feel like all the villains died good, right? Kind of, except for Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, he had a shitty death.
Yeah, but.
Well, yeah, he died bad. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. And
I don't know if there's any point in speculating because Disney will just be like, no, actually, it's a different guy with the same name, and you're just like, oh, okay. I guess.
All right.
They're like, this is his brother, and then Tobey Maguire's like, this is his other brother, and you're like, what?
Because if it's gonna get as convoluted already as the multiverse, which they did a good job setting up because they took their time with it. I mean, I think Disney and Marvel could get away with anything at this point.
Well, they have actually fairly big shoes to fill, especially with this film.
Yep. Well, let's get into it because this movie was more than 2 hours long. You guys just finished it with me prior to recording this, and let's get into it.
All right. We watched a film called Spider-Man 3, which was released in the year 2007 and has a rating of PG-13. It has a runtime of 2 hours and 19 minutes, or 100, and I would say 39 minutes, but let's be real here. It's 2 hours 40.
It's pretty long.
Yeah. It has a rating of 6.10 on IMDb, a 53% on Rotten Tomatoes, 63%, excuse me. And then it has a 59% on Metacritic. But Christian.
Yeah. Google users.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna go with 79%. I feel like people disliked this.
It's actually 82, so
Whoa!
fairly close.
Okay, cool.
Is 79 considered a dislike in your? That's kind of like just shy of being.
In terms of Google, when like every single time we do this Google user guessing game, most movies are 85% and up, and it's more so on the unlikely side that it's below that. Yeah, they're pretty nice on Google, so.
Which is a shock to me. I always would think the internet's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
This movie, I had mentioned to you before, was the most expensive film ever created at the time.
Yeah. What year did it come out again?
2007.
Wow. 2007?
Yes, sir.
Nice. That's right.
2007.
Alan and I were freshmen in high school when we watched this.
Me too.
Oh, yes. Well, no, I'm saying that specifically because we watched it together.
Oh, okay.
In the theater, and we
We're
watched it
like-
in the front row.
We're still in middle school, right? May 4th, 2007.
Oh, maybe it was like...
But going into high school.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I remember when this film came out because we finally got to see the black suit Spider-Man, and that's always the coolest looking Spider-Man, no matter who or what, or it just put every superhero in black.
Now, did you like that suit as opposed to like the classic comic symbiote Spider-Man suit, where it's just like all black, smooth, like it doesn't have like the same ridges that the original Spider-Man suit has, but it's just all black with the white spider on it? Because this one was like almost chromish, right? Because I liked it how he
eyes
looked
were
here.
kind of chromy, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're different suits for different hoots, bro.
Yeah, man. Well, let's get into it because we have so much to talk about, and
Synopsis.
this movie's not that bad.
Synopsis coming at you.
Right at you.
Peter Parker and MJ.
Am I supposed to do sound effects to this
I kind of like it.
synopsis now?
Yeah. Like it's a comic book movie. Zap.
Sure.
Seem to finally be on the right track in their complicated relationship.
Aww.
But trouble looms for the superhero and his lover. Peter's Spider-Man suit turns black and takes a control of him and his mind. I'm sorry, I know you hate that.
He's an evil villain.
Not only giving Peter enhanced power, but also bringing out his dark side of his personality. Peter must overcome that suit's influence as two supervillains, Sandman and Venom, rise up and destroy him and all those he holds dear. Directed by the Sam Raimi, the budget of this film was $250 million.
Jesus Christ, that's expensive.
Dude.
Would you guys like to guess how much this movie made back?
Definitely made its money back,
$251
but not
million.
as much. I remember from like the first, you told us what the first Spider-Man got. Wasn't it like $800 million?
Oh, yeah.
Something like that. I don't think it made that much this time.
Okay.
Because of word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people were just like, don't
Hey, did you see that Spider-Man movie? Psst,
I
hey.
fucking want Topher Grace, that 70s show? He's Eddie Bro.
This is why he quit that 70s show for?
Oh. I'm going to say $600 million.
It made $894.9 million.
Well, fuck me,
It
man.
was the highest grossing Sony picture film until Skyfall, the James Bond film, and it made a shitload of money.
Jeez, man.
Think about all the toys and all the costumes and all the things
That is
came
true.
out. Like,
a
it was
lot of merchandise.
real deal Holyfield, man.
Well, I mean, with as many villains that were in this film, they just made more toys too.
And then they re-released all the old villains as well.
Yeah. Oh, so cool. Okay.
Before we get into the movie, I just want to ask you one question because I know you enjoy Spider-Man. Who's one villain you wished you could have seen Tobey Maguire fight?
Rhino.
I knew it.
I like Rhino
love
so
Rhino.
much.
Yeah,
I told
man.
you I like the underdogs, even if I like Toad from X-Men, and no one gives a fuck about Toad. And I like Rhino, and apparently Paul Giamatti is Rhino in the Amazing Spider-Man.
He is for like 2 seconds.
For like
God
2
dang
seconds.
For 2 seconds. It's awesome.
But the idea is cool because he's a normal-sized guy in a Rhino mecha suit, right?
He is. He is.
That's cool. That's really cool to me.
Oh, so maybe I have seen them all in their entirety.
you did.
Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
have. I just blocked them out because the Jamie Foxx Electro sucks.
Trying to watch that. We're going to do that
We're gonna watch
eventually.
that.
Yep.
Well,
gonna
let's
watch
jump
that.
right into it. Feet forward, face open. What?
So violent. It's the second time you've said that on the show, and it doesn't get any better after you say that.
I think the more I say it, the more reasonable people will accept
Face
it.
open.
Feet forward, face open, bro.
Anyway,
That's the exact opposite of like what you should be doing is like crossing your legs and your arms.
Horrible.
And holding your breath.
horrible advice to teach your child for the first time they're swimming.
Listen here, kids. Spider-Man 3. Three's a company. That's what they should have called this one because there's 3 bad guys.
Oh, and there's a love triangle too.
Yeah,
There is a love
it's like a
triangle.
double entendre. They should have called it Spider-Man 3's a company.
Come and knock on my door.
Come and knock on my door.
He's waiting for you.
He's been waiting for you where the kisses are his
Na,
and
na, na,
hers and
na,
his.
na,
Ain't
na,
this company
na,
too. We'll have to pay for that.
No, because we butchered it. It's fine.
So we see how Spider-Man has become a celebrity now.
Yes.
For the first time in Tobey Maguire's life, he's happy.
Yeah, his life is like perfect. MJ is on Broadway, and they're loving each other. Like they're on that web, and MJ's like, for the rest of my life, I'd like to sing on stage with you in the front row. And I was like, oh, this is such a strong start to this movie. What do you guys think?
Is Tobey Maguire like the villain the whole time? Because he's lying to her about Harry, and he's lying to her like from the second. He's also kind of like really oblivious to how in the shits his relationship actually is.
Yeah, he's not the antagonist, but he's a shit dude in this film.
He's a really bad boyfriend.
Yeah.
Which he is in the comics too. He's always been a really
Yeah.
bad boyfriend to MJ, which is kind of a shame. But that's cool that we get to see it. So Spider-Man hangs out with all the kids watching that video, and he's like, "No, wait, come back! It's gonna."
There's more. It's gonna be a part 2.
Peter Parker doesn't hide at all that he's Spider-Man. Like,
Yeah.
between the dancing that we'll get to later, the way he talks to people in public, and like he's just not.
How does no one not know that Spider-Man is Peter Parker? Do you see how thin of lips Tobey Maguire has? So when he does this upside down kiss, one person has to be like, "That's a Peter Parker, right?"
One person did.
Mr.
Mary Jane.
Phillips. That's it. Oh, that's right.
So immediately we realized that, you know, MJ, like you said, MJ's on Broadway finally, and Peter is like riding his moped now. He's moved up from the bicycle that got destroyed in that one.
He's making some money.
Oh man.
And you know who's watching the play from the Abraham Lincoln seats?
It's fucking Harry. James Franco looking like a villain.
I like to imagine that they didn't bring those binoculars as props. Like he just had those and was like...
I'm surprised he had the regular binoculars and not like the villainous ones, the glasses
Oh,
that
yeah,
come on a
yeah.
stick.
The small stick. Yeah.
It's a Broadway show, not an opera.
Yeah, but
Dress
the
appropriately.
way he was looking around, he looked like a villain.
I'm also
at the
surprised they didn't do
opera.
this thing where he's like... looks
the
right
way
at
down.
Peter Parker.
Oh man,
So MJ singing, and I liked her voice. As a singer, what do you
Beautiful.
think?
great, fantastic. I don't know who's the actual voice of that because I don't believe that's Kirsten Dunst. Maybe it is. Alan really liked it, right?
Oh yeah.
But do you think that was actually her voice?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Let me-
I don't think so either.
I
Yeah,
don't know if
look
I've
it up.
ever seen Kirsten Dunst sing. I feel like she would have to be able to sing a little bit for the amount of acting she got.
I mean, it's really common for actors to actually bleed into like musical theater too. So it's possible.
Or like Zac Efron in the first High School Musical.
Yeah.
Not to sing at all.
Yeah.
So they have their moment together. And much like I had in real life with James Franco, I ran into him at leaving a theater.
Yeah.
So it was very realistic in my own life. That's how I have my connection to
You
Peter
think he was
Parker.
looking at you
Because he thought
in
I was
that
Peter
theater?
Parker. He was like,
He
wait a
was giving
minute.
you that look.
He was falling into character for 1 second.
Peter Parker, you suddenly look kind of Chinese.
And that's when we learned that Harry, or not at that moment, but he does go home and like has a bath in Green Goblin smoke.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's what that was? Because you just see like his lab with all the goblin technology and he comes out of this sauna with green smoke. I was like, what the fuck were you doing in there?
Isn't that how Willem Dafoe got it?
I haven't seen the previous two in so long, so I don't know.
Whoa, I'm 100% positive. That's
Wait, so
exactly it.
does that give him superhuman powers?
I think it like unlocks the Green Goblin in his brain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it makes him cuckoo bananas.
Another personality, pretty much, right?
Okay. And it doesn't help that he got like 3 concussions in this film either.
God.
Oh man,
Oh god. Dude.
that's no brain.
That
guy has CTE so bad he makes OJ look like a saint, dude. This guy is.
Any pipe that existed in this film, his head was like magnetized to.
Which is funny because that ends up actually saving them at the end of the day. So,
The pipes, yeah.
thanks, Harry.
So back to Kirsten Dunst singing. It was
Yes.
her.
It was.
So I think this is what I've been reading. I haven't seen anything with like another person's name, but it says like in an interview, it was like, was that really you singing? Was it nerve-wracking? She was like, well, I got to pre-record it, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah.
Even if it's
that's-
pre-recorded. Love
yeah,
it.
I didn't.
Cool.
It's good. It's good. I'm glad that she did do this thing. It actually makes me like her a little bit more.
Yeah.
So as everything's going good, the bad guys show up. Venom comes down in a meteor that should have obliterated Central Park. Actually, if that sized meteor landed in New York, it would actually have a huge
But
crater.
I think it was actually a tiny crater. It was like a
course.
baseball, right?
Ridiculous. Like just that pebble made it through.
Because they didn't even hear it. They were like about to make love on that web that he hammocked up.
Didn't they wish on it?
Oh,
Didn't they make a wish on it?
good. And it fucked up their lives.
Why wouldn't they like no? Whoa, hey, did you hear that? His spider senses didn't go off?
Really?
His spider senses are so bad in this film.
Well, that's because
Yeah.
all the blood went to his dick, and so he couldn't really think properly.
I mean, he must have a lot of concussions. Honestly, Spider-Man must be really messed up because
man.
he doesn't put like a single coherent thought together ever. Every time MJ brings up her problems, he's always like, "I get it. I'm Spider-Man." And she's like, "That's not the answer to this." He's like, "No. I get it.
What
I'm
a
Spider-Man."
shitty guy. Yes. What a he's a narcissist. He becomes a narcissist in this film.
He's the whole time.
Yeah.
The whole time. So that happens. Flint Marco's running from the police, and then he like goes to steal clothing and kiss his daughter goodbye one last time.
Yeah.
One of my favorite tropes of all comic book movies is when they hold up a comic book accurate costume.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because like sometimes they'll put it on, sometimes they won't. But for Sandman to like find that green striped suit and just hold it up, it's just like, oh, of course that's what he's going to wear for the rest of the movie. Yeah.
Thank you for actually paying homage to the source material.
Well, I mean, Sandman was not that big of a villain back in the day, if I remember correctly.
But Guardians of the Galaxy wasn't that big of like a Marvel thing, and now it's the biggest franchise. I like
have a
when
ride.
these studios take these like kind of unknown villains or heroes and just like turn Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
Right? No one really knew who the fuck Shang-Chi is.
Shanghai Noon.
Yep. Yes.
We're bringing it back. Bringing it back.
Peter
Yeah.
wants to marry MJ.
Yes. That whole scene of him talking to Aunt May and
The whole montage of him being like, everything's good now, I'm going to buy a ring. And then he like gets to Aunt May's place. It's like,
yeah, and Aunt May starts talking about Uncle Ben. That actress, what's that actress's name? Because she is phenomenal, and she like moves me emotionally every
her name
single
is
Spider-Man
Rosemary
movie.
Harris.
Is that what it is?
Don't beat me to it, yeah. May
Nice.
Parker.
She is awesome, and like when she was saying like, we would have been married 50 years if you were still alive. I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna cry.
Bless your heart, man.
She is so sweet. Man, and
She,
so
not only that, she gives Peter the wedding ring.
I
Which, did he still buy that other ring?
I don't think so.
no.
I
think
feel like
he
he's
would've put it
still
back.
kind of broke.
Because the ring,
yeah.
the ring that he gives Ash at the French restaurant has like a little tiny diamond, but doesn't the ring that Aunt May gave him have a bunch of diamonds on it?
Real quick, that was Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
The maitre d' at the restaurant was Bruce Campbell
Yeah,
from
he's
Evil
Ash.
Dead. Because I saw his name at the beginning credits, and I was like, who the fuck is he in this movie?
He's in every single Spider-Man.
incredible.
He's in every single Spider-Man.
That's
Did you realize
crazy.
that?
That's awesome. That's one of my favorite scenes of the entire movie.
Do you know why he's in every single Spider-Man?
No clue.
One, because he's friends with Sam Raimi, but it's because Sam Raimi in Spider-Man 4 wanted it to end up that he's Mysterio and that he had been following Peter his whole life. And so in Spider-Man 4, when he fights Mysterio, it's Bruce Campbell.
Sam Raimi is the creator and director of the Evil Dead series,
He is,
right?
he is.
That's what it is. Oh, that makes perfect sense.
It's pretty tough. It's pretty cool. So Spider-Man leaves and he gets introduced to the craziest villain, the best, darkest name I've ever heard in my life. His name is New Goblin.
Not Hobgoblin? Not Hobgoblin.
No, it's straight up New Goblin. We watched it in the credits. It's he's credited as New
Goblin,
Goblin.
Can you search if New Goblin is Hobgoblin? If that's the same character they intended it to be, but just change the name. Because like with the orange accents with his goblin accessories, those were Hobgoblin's colors.
But Willem Dafoe's grenades were exactly the same.
Oh, they're also
exactly
orange?
the same.
I don't know, man.
He has way cooler stuff, yet also very like dated stuff, right? So he has the really cool surfboard glider that goes in like a million different ways.
And it's also a flamethrower.
And then he has that like sword, and he's got really cool stuff.
But it's all backfiring and like hurting him too.
Because the one thing he doesn't think of is wearing a helmet.
Yeah, that's it. I think every villain here just wants to show their face.
Yeah, nobody's hiding their identity. Even Peter lets his mask get taken off a number of times.
Yeah, and like I said before, once you see those lips, that's for sure Peter Parker. Venom. Oh my gosh.
Venom.
You barely see Venom's face. It's mostly Eddie Brock with gingivitis.
Invisalign gingivitis.
Oh yeah, we were talking about it. Whenever Eddie Brock talks when he's infused with the symbiote, he's like, I came here to humiliate you. He has Invisalign. He's talking with braces.
Hang on a second.
Do you remember what you did to me? Some shit like that.
So, first of many head injuries, Harry falls 4 to 5 floors, hitting his head on every possible metal beam on the way down, and then lands flat on his back on the cement. And instead of obliterating like a normal body would, his heart stops.
Yeah. And so Peter Parker's just oh, I gotta save you, Harry.
How old is Peter Parker at this point?
I gotta save you, Harry.
You remember in Spider-Man? I don't know if you remember in Spider-Man 2 when he loses his powers for a second and he falls down into an alley. Maybe that's why Spider-Man has the same brain injuries as New Goblin.
This is why they can't figure out their personal problems because they don't have enough brain cells left.
They need to just talk to a neurologist.
They need to go to therapy together, all 3 of them.
You know what the first clue was? That they can't say the name Bernard.
Bernard.
Oh, Bernard.
Oh,
Hey, Bernard.
is Bernard not getting mad that they're pronouncing his name wrong?
I think maybe that's
just how it is.
Yeah, maybe that's an accent thing. My name is Bernard.
Okay, I'm not gonna judge, but
so Peter is with Harry in the hospital, and of course his short-term memory loss is gone. Yet his short-term memory loss seems to go back at least 3 or 4 years.
a long time.
A long time.
He's just and do you think Harry remembers the accident and he's just lying to everybody? Because he gives Peter kind of a slight smile.
No, I don't think that would make 0 sense. He definitely forgot something. Come on, I like that. When Harry did forget.
When Harry Met Sally.
Good movie.
Thank you.
Great soundtrack.
When Harry Met Mary.
Yes. That would have been a long time ago in this sense. But I do like that when he forgot, he was just back to normal. And James Franco is such a likable guy and a likable actor that he's able to play this best friend role so well.
Yeah.
And just smile and be like, hey, buddy. And he's just so charming, man.
Super horny.
Very.
From the second he wakes up, he's like, hey, have any girlfriends? And he's even winking at the nurse too. She's like, you got really good friends. Like, yeah.
And
I do.
He has this big smile on his face, looking at the nurse going, what the hell?
Little band-aid on his forehead when he walks into the house. That's when we meet Bernard.
Yeah.
Bernard.
At the same time, Flint Marko is running from the police and somehow hops a 10-foot barbed wire fence that a dog
No scratches.
can't.
No scratches.
No problem. And then he falls into a hole. And instead of good scientists stopping their experiment,
They're like, the mask changed. Don't worry
the
about it.
silicon mask changed.
Bird.
Must have been a bird that landed.
It'll flow when it fires up. It's already fired up. It's already going.
I would have been scared if I was in a position because there's these scientific, I don't know, whatever the fuck those are, and it starts
LED
spinning
lights.
around him, and he had to do this ninja warrior thing of all right, I gotta pass through it before it hits me.
No way. If I would have seen that, I was thinking to myself, there's no way I would get through that.
I would sit down, crisscross applesauce, and accept my
Wait
fate.
it out. Yeah. Scariest fate you could imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Turned into sand and watches himself disintegrate.
How do you think I must have felt?
Credits.
Spider-Man 4.
And scene.
So back at the hospital, everybody's there. MJ's there, and that's when they have the moment of I'm really horny. I like. Do I have any girlfriends? He's like, Bernard, do I have any girlfriends? Bernard's like, not that I've seen. Yet later, when Harry says we're having a guest, what's Bernard's response? Like a guest?
Oh, yeah. He was like, Bernard, make some food. We're having to guess it. I guess.
God.
He says, go get some food, and then they make omelets later. So it's did Bernard go to the store and just buy eggs
Groceries.
and stuff? Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm glad he's treated with some level of respect that I don't have to cook this. Just get some groceries.
Bernard's like, I don't really know what time it is, so breakfast food.
That
It's
guy's
6 in the afternoon.
We're going to talk about it later, but that guy's senile because he's holding back a lot of important information that would have saved so many lives.
Oh, my God.
Just he's the villain.
He's the actual villain.
He's the hobgoblin. So when Sandman does come alive, he is, of course, the only thing that doesn't get destroyed is the locket.
Yeah.
Right, but shouldn't like the zipper of his shorts have not been destroyed too then? And like
I don't
any other
know.
metal he would have had on
Well,
him?
his shirt for sure would have been destroyed.
Okay, his pants too, but there's no other metal on him.
I will say the music that was playing in the background when he's rising from the
yeah.
sand
Yes.
and it is doing this shot that goes 360 around him. Great.
When he tries to like
music.
grab it and his hand like falls through, it's really intense.
Really good cinematography, like just good stuff.
Made me feel for sand. Made me feel
You
like
know,
a lot.
with the music, I think there was 3 different people that composed it.
Really?
Like, Christopher Young, Deborah Lurie, and Danny Elfman.
Danny Elfman I've heard of
Yeah, yeah.
before
They,
for sure.
they just used what he had from the previous 2, but he didn't want to work on this film with Sam Raimi anymore.
Oh, that's
Danny
what it
Elfman's the
is.
guy who did Nightmare Before Christmas and Batman.
No wonder
Yeah.
the soundtrack is just so good.
So now we get to the point where like actually life sucks for Peter and MJ because MJ gets a review
Dude,
and they hate her.
that was a shitty way to get laid off.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think legally they can do that. I think she has a contract. If she's on Broadway like that, she has a contract. They have to keep her at least for the end of the contract.
It's like, imagine you walking into the studio and there's like a guy that kind of looks like you. He's not you. Kind of acts like you, but he's still not you. And I'm just like,
what's going on?
Wait,
I thought Alan was gonna call you.
Hey, we're just like,
Hey, sit down for a second.
we'll just say you got sick, okay?
What? I am sick. I don't feel good now. What's happening here, Christian?
Dude, really, really shitty way to get laid off. She tries to relay that information to Peter.
But Peter is just like,
Hey.
well, as Spider-Man, like it's totally
The
different. dude.
shittiest way
Yeah.
to relate to her.
When I'm swinging through the streets of New York, saving and killing supervillains, it's the same thing as getting a bad review. It's like,
Yeah.
no.
No, not at all. Like it gets tough. Like all these kids, they know my name. Spider-Man's a household name. There's toys and action figures. I'm all over the paper. It's just a lot of pressure. And MJ's just like, you fucking asshole.
Right? It's just like, you bitch.
How about my feelings, yo?
We also get nice foreshadowing when the loogie of Venom is just like watching MJ like a perv.
Yeah. Yeah, the symbiote is really just stalking. Doing some voyeur shit.
And we do get to see like one of the best like Spider-Man suit up scenes when he like comes out and he's like all buff. And he's like, huh, and they like puts his mask on.
Yeah.
And then jumps out to go do the crane action sequence with Gwen Stacy, which is one of the best action sequences in the film.
man.
Really good. Really good stuff. When Gwen Stacy, I want to talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
So Gwen Stacy, she's doing some photo shoot, right? On top of a printer. Real
For a
sexy.
copier.
Yes, for a copier machine, yeah. And then like that gets destroyed and she's like falling off. Now, her father is the head of police, right?
Yeah.
Right? And sees her hanging off with his binoculars. He says,
No, with Eddie Brock's camera.
with Eddie Brock's camera, that's right. And it was like, is that Gwen? What is she doing up there? If my daughter was hanging, I would be yelling.
Dude.
But he was so calm. He
And
was
then,
just-
and then Eddie's like, hey, I'm dating your daughter, by the way.
Yeah.
How come you're not doing anything then,
no
pal?
one gives a fuck about Gwen Stacy, poor girl.
I did notice that this New York City is so numb to violence and mass catastrophes that instead of running and hiding, the people of New York just watch. Everybody is just so entertained by what's happening.
Every single catastrophe.
Every single one. There's
Even
a
the children.
huge
Dude, there's
crowd.
kids there and they're like taking pictures and shit.
Kids,
Yeah.
old people, the press. Firemen, policemen, and ambulances stop their jobs
No one's doing.
to watch.
I think everyone in the city has hit their heads at least a few times.
They got to cheer for Spider-Man. That's why they're there.
I think they
my
all believe
God.
in Spider-Man. So I think they're also numb to the catastrophes that are going on, but also they believe that some sort of superhero. If this is the same universe that exists where multiple superheroes exist,
I don't think so.
okay, then they just only know Spider-Man.
New York should be a ghost town. They should just like let Spider-Man do whatever he wants there.
I think at this point everyone should move out if there's like a sand monster coming out.
Move to Brooklyn.
If there's move to Brooklyn.
Move to Brooklyn.
Go to the West Coast. California is nice.
Yeah.
Then we get our first scene with J. Jonah Jameson in the Daily Bugle. And poor J. Jonah.
Oh,
He's got heart problems now.
what a fantastic scene. Elizabeth Banks as his assistant.
And Sam
looking
Raimi as
good.
the idiot talking about the new slogan.
Oh, that's Sam Raimi. Gotcha.
It's hip. It's now. That was me.
That was me.
I love his little.
Nice little pitch.
Yes.
J. Jonah Jameson like freaking out because what is going on with that buzzer that the assistant has connected to his desk?
I think it's got an electrode attached to his anus.
Probably because he just like
The way-
spazzes out.
The way he reacts to the buzzer It's very frightening.
Real kinky shit going on with Elizabeth Banks and J. Jonah Jameson.
It's the reason why she's been the
man.
secretary for so long.
What it is.
All 3 movies.
Yeah. All 3 movies. Is she in all 3 movies?
Yeah.
Wow.
So Brock comes in, says he wants a job, has pictures of the Spider-Man from the crane incident.
Yeah.
And J. Jonah loves it because he's brown-nosing him and making it good and, wants to offer him a job. But then Peter's there and Peter's like, hey, I deserve the job. But not really, Peter. You're always late and, your pictures are kind of weird. They're very repetitive.
Yeah.
You're never there on
Always
time.
the same angles.
It's just, I could see why you don't have the staff position currently, Peter. But that's, neither
It's
here nor there.
it's upsetting. I get how he feels. And I get why there's a tension. They were trying to build that rivalry
For sure.
between Eddie Brock and Peter that does exist in the comics. Very rushed, obviously. Alan and I were talking about
Yeah.
this movie would be way better if they just focused on Sandman.
Well, you want to know one thing?
What?
Trivia, real quick.
Ooh.
So I guess there was supposed to be 4 films. Like this was all squeezed in one film.
Yeah.
And like I guess Raimi wanted to do another film to kind of like make up for the third one because it didn't do too well. So
Whoa.
Give him a chance. Give him a
So
chance.
would the 4th one have been focused completely on Eddie Brock, you think?
I'm not too.
No.
Maybe it would flesh out.
Yeah, I had
stuff,
read
but-
that they were trying to get Vulture. John Malkovich was in talks to be
John
Vulture.
Malkovich.
And,
Dude, I love John Malkovich.
And Hathaway was in talks to be Black Cat. What's his girlfriend? What's Spider-Man's other girlfriend? Felicia, whatever.
I'm not sure. Black Cat? That's uncanny because she played Catwoman.
It is very
Something Kyle, right? Or
Selena Kyle. No, that's Catwoman from
Catwoman.
Batman. But they're very similar. Almost the exact same
I
character.
was thinking about Anne Hathaway because she played fucking
Catwoman, yeah.
Exact same character. Exact same character. Stan Lee shows up.
Yeah, we see him. It's like what in front of the theater, right?
Yeah, and he does the perfect like.
One moment can change the rest of your life. You remember that?
Hey,
Some shit like that.
What's your favorite Stan Lee cameo?
Mallrats. No, I'm just kidding.
Like out of every like MCU, every superhero film, what do you think is your favorite cameo?
Maybe when he gets drunk in Avengers and he says Excelsior.
Excelsior.
I like that one. I like Guardians of the Galaxy when he's sitting with the Watchers and he's like talking to them in the spacesuit,
Because there are theories that that's an actual character
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
comics, right?
going through all of them.
I like the Civil War one. He's like, "Are you Tony Stank?"
That's a good one, dude.
He's fun. He has fun with it.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
dude.
So Harry gets home, and immediately he's starting to get Green Goblin powers back. Right? So they're playing basketball inside this $30 million loft, and they knock down a vase, which he catches and then palms a basketball in his other hand. And it's very impressive.
It's like, yeah, it is cool.
Which should have been Peter's first red flag. Again, oblivious to red flags.
Oh, he's coming back. He's turning into what he really was.
Especially when he's like fixated on that portrait of Willem Dafoe
Yeah.
sitting in the chair that's right in front of the painting.
Yeah. I wonder, how could he just needs to be more communicative, needs to be more transparent, because he's not saying shit to MJ. He's withholding information from Harry. He's like, and this is all pre-symbiote. He's being a shitty person. And so the symbiote is
It's just like, oh, there's a shitty person I can be a part of. But you know what? Shitty people get stuff done. They give Spider-Man the key to the city.
yeah.
So at the height of his assholeness, he's getting the most rewards and the most recognition he's ever had. No wonder he
Yes.
turns into a prick.
And this is right after she got laid off, too. MJ?
MJ's having a tough time. All she wants is just like a hug and a cuddle. And
That's all she needs is a hug and a cuddle. And he just keeps thinking, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, me, Spider-Man. And it's so upsetting.
then what does he do? He kisses Gwen Stacy.
With their signature kiss, the upside down kiss.
But it's not like other people know that's their signature kiss. Like
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that other people know. All that matters is like, dude, that's your fucking girlfriend, man. That's your signature kiss with her.
And they were just talking like 2 minutes ago like,
about
right
how
before
she's like
that.
sad and like worried about it. He's like,
Yeah.
don't worry. Just watch out for me. This is gonna blow your pants off, babe.
I'm coming from stage right, so don't miss it, girl. Yeah, and Gwen Stacy's like, are you sure that's like fine? And he's like, yeah,
kiss me. Yeah.
they're
kiss me.
getting it up.
Please, yeah.
Everyone's horny.
So horny in this film. And then James Franco's watching and eating cotton candy
I love James Franco eating cotton candy.
because he has this interaction with MJ where she's like, or he's like, yeah, I got bonk on my head and suddenly I'm free as a bird. And she's like, can you do that to me? Can you give me brain damage too? And then they do a little cute little bonk thing, and then that's
Yeah,
all.
they're looking at each other a little too deep, huh?
They've always flirted with the flirting, that's for sure.
Always, man. That's a sticky situation.
Sandman has no idea of stealth, flies right past the parade.
Yeah, a gust of sand just going through.
So can he fly? Can Sandman fly?
He can do whatever he wants, man.
He can fly, but he can't survive a blast of water.
He can fly, but he can't help his child.
The sand could he should just fill his daughter with sand, take out whatever disease she has, and bada bing, bada boom.
That's terrible.
Science.
No, I think that'll turn into a new disease.
No, man.
He has been genetically modified at a cellular level. And if you're
Crystallized on a cellular level.
you're telling he should insert himself into his
No, I'm not. So that's when they meet, Sandman and Spider-Man. They have that fight in that truck, which I liked the visual of the sand filling up the truck and then pushing on the gas. And I thought that was a really cool
that was
visual.
cool. But you know how he could have gotten away? You're right. He's
going
not
out
sneaky. When he was in the bed of that big ass truck,
Yes.
and the police officers were there and they were trying to dig, he should have just stayed sand.
Gone down to the bottom. Gone further down to the bottom.
Yeah.
Where'd the cop get that shovel from?
No clue. He got it real quick because maybe that cop car instead of a shotgun in the back.
I got this. Wow, you guys do a lot of killing in New York.
I fucked up last time. They gave me a shovel.
No more gun for Bill. Give him a shovel. Oh, man. Sandman makes all the wrong choices.
Sandman, that actor, really good.
Bad guy from George of the Jungle.
Oh, gosh. That's what it is, dude.
I did not notice that.
But his whole interaction, to bring it back a little bit, when he was interacting with his wife and even without much context to what his situation was, it was very evident that his child was sick. You see some tubes up in her nose. But the way he's reacting, I want to see my daughter. Very compelling. The best villain in this movie, I think.
I think they should have just kept that his storyline. They did not need to retcon the whole Uncle Ben thing and make him part of that. That I thought was they should have just made him his own story.
Mm-hmm. And he would have just ran into Spider-Man type of thing.
There's villains in the city that have nothing to
Always. They don't always have to do anything with Peter Parker.
And then they float this weird idea that Spider-Man's only doing this shit because he's guilty about killing that one dude.
Yes.
Is that why he's Spider-Man?
Because he killed the one guy that he pushed off the building?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because that's kind of the idea that they float in this one where they're just I'm only doing Spider-Man because I thought I killed the guy. Now you're telling me I killed the wrong guy? Guess I should still be Spider-Man. It's I don't know if that's the lesson here, Peter.
Even MJ knew. MJ was hey, don't do anything stupid. And he got super sensitive to it. He was just what do you mean? Oh, gosh, they got to go to therapy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, couples therapy for sure.
For sure.
And that whole time he's got a ring in his pocket. It's like trying to have a baby to save the relationship.
Put the ring somewhere safer, please, Peter. You almost lost it that one time when you were fighting Harry.
Not even in a box. It's
He
just
did lose it. That's why he switches them out so often.
Do you respect your grandma? Put it in a box.
Aunt
Sorry,
May.
Aunt May. My bad. Because I keep thinking Aunt May is a sexy Aunt May, but Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, Marissa Tomei.
Ooh.
What was that?
Ooh.
So that's when they get called in by the chief of police for whatever reason, has to explain to them that they made a mistake, which I don't think that's the chief of police of New York's dog.
Yeah, Stacy.
That's when they learn that Flint Marko is actually the guy who killed him.
At this point, has he put on the symbiote? Or has the symbiote interacted with him? Because he
No,
gets a
I-
little snappy.
It's that night, right, when MJ comes over, and then he's like, no. And he just sits on his bed listening to the police blotter in his entire Spider-Man uniform.
Yeah.
And it's just
I'm ready to go.
and then he falls asleep.
Yes.
Oh, he has those dreams, right? And then that's when Venom was this is
That's
the
the
time.
thing, gets him and creates.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, from what I'm supposed to understand, he has two Spider-Man suits,
Yes.
right? And then the Venom, stained one of them to be all black because he has them two hanging up in the closet later.
Yeah.
He has one, the red and blue, and then he has the black one, and he chooses to wear the black one,
All of the time.
which is dope.
Because he likes the power.
It's cool.
He likes that power. And it's it was cool at first. It got a bit much later on, but obviously he had a fine balance when he was walking down the street and girls were checking him out.
Were they?
At first, the first one.
There's it's such a weird.
What, did you think it was a fever dream of some sort?
It swings so back and forth. One girl really likes him, and then the next girl is just disgusted by him. Then it
You're
swings back,
right,
and then like
you're right.
then there's a guy who loves looking at him, and then it swings back, and then it's like a girl. Like it is just so back and forth. There's no consistency
You
in
are
any
so
of
right.
the extras.
He walks down the street, and the girls. This is the second time he's like starting to like finger bang everyone on the street.
yeah.
Finger gun.
Finger gun everyone on the street, and they all are disgusted by him. But the next shot is him flirting with Elizabeth Banks, and it's working.
Yeah. So is he a smooth talker or is he an asshole?
I think he's a smooth talker, but not a smooth walker, because he's like not. He's not looking good.
He got that new suit and he looked.
He looked better in the new suit. I don't know. He's something, man. Wait, real quick. Why did they make it so obvious? Like he had to look in the mirror and put his bangs down.
So he does that after he like thinks he kills Sandman.
Yes.
Right. So he like finds himself
yeah.
in the mirror and he's like, you know what? Now I'm evil.
Yeah, I killed him with water.
Yo, that whole fight scene though was pretty sick though.
Yeah,
It was cool when he's like rubbing his face on the subway and like
Yeah.
it's a good choreographed fight scene. That's for sure.
It is interestingly enough, like how crazy it is that they specifically chose Sandman, knowing that the special effects involved would be a hefty task.
They like invented software to do it. Like it was
Really?
it was a big deal for them to have that kind of stuff going on.
Because as opposed to like Doc Ock for sure, like was much more practical because you could use all of Alfred Molina. That's his name, right?
Yes.
You use all of him and then you CGI the tentacles, obviously.
they didn't. They had real tentacles.
Oh, that's right. See, look at that. That's fucking awesome. But in this one, like since sand is like such a bunch of particles of sand, like the CGI for that has to be so complex.
Yeah.
Which is why it's probably one of the most expensive movies ever.
I agree.
Well, for trivia again, but I guess sand is kind of like a hazard thing on set, so I guess they use corn cobs.
Really?
Yeah.
How is that any
I
better?
don't know how that's better, but I guess that's what
Corn
they use.
cobs.
Yeah.
Corn cobs.
It's because when you write on the death certificate "death by corn," people won't take it seriously.
It's like, I'm not gonna ask.
He's not alive. So that's when Peter realizes that Sandman is gone and he's gone now, and that's when he starts finger gunning everybody. And he tells Aunt May, he's like, Flint Marco's dead, baby. And she's like, that's not good, Peter. Why are you smiling? And he's like,
Yeah.
What?
It's not up to us to decide who lives and who dies.
I love this like rampage tour that Peter goes on, like broken heart. Peter Parker is just like, you know what? Fuck my landlord. Fuck my Aunt May. Fuck MJ. Fuck
He did
Gwen
not need
Stacy.
to yell at the landlord. The landlord was so nice. He just said, rent?
Orange? Do you want half orange?
Half orange? And then Ursula
Is baking him cookie after
That's
cookie
my girl,
after
man.
cookie after.
Nicest person.
Hey,
The
give me some
nicest
milk.
person.
Go get me some milk. Is
Yeah.
what he says to her.
make sure, what does he make her make?
He goes, "Ooh, these would be good with some nuts." And she's like, "I have some nuts. I can make some with nuts." He's like,
Go ahead, go make it. This girl loves him.
Yeah.
head over heels. Mm-hmm. That's when, around the same time that Peter's trying to call and apologize, and it's just his whole life is falling apart.
Yeah.
But guess what else is happening? His girlfriend is hanging out with his best friend. And they're listening to Chubby Checker, and they're making omelets, and they even
Kiss. They're doing the cutest shit. She messed up there, I will say. I know you're trying to find someone to confide in, but like really, your boyfriend's best friend that you know has feelings for you. And like you even see her scrolling through her contacts on her phone, and it says Peter Parker, Harry Osborn.
That's it.
Like, ooh, you gonna do some hoeing around.
that was before phone books were in alphabetical order is when you had to set
Yeah,
them.
because Harry Osborn is above.
Peter Parker, it should be Harry Osborn, then Peter Parker, unless it's
Yeah.
by last name.
Maybe.
But then it would be Osborn, then Parker.
Whatever. I don't want
I
to.
don't
It's a
know,
2007 cellular
know,
device.
man.
I do love. I did not realize how dated this film was because there's still like answering machines and pay phones and
Yeah.
like it's not. You would think for being 2007, it would be a little bit further on, but
Yeah.
no,
No?
it's not.
Yeah, it is still kind of dated.
You know. Oh shit! I'm sorry. This is when he meets Willem Dafoe. This is when Willem Dafoe has his like comeback, and he's like, "You gotta kill Parker.
Oh, a slight.
Kill the Spider-Man."
That's because after they kissed, so something happens. So the trigger is that when MJ said like, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have kissed you," it brought back emotional trauma, which like brought back everything else.
All his
Yeah.
memories.
So MJ fucked up.
MJ's
And
the
they fucked
villain.
it up, dude.
Yeah. if MJ wasn't dipping her toes in every single pond,
Wow.
she would
Yeah,
be. I'm sorry, and I'm not shaming her. Do what you want. Do what you want with your body. And if you're single, but like she brought Harry Osborn
Yeah.
back.
And Defoe's like, attack his heart. And that's when all that shit
Which
goes down.
is a great like tactic for villains.
Oh yeah.
Very, very confused when Peter meets MJ at the park and they break up. When she walks by and James Franco's watching, he's like, bravo. We don't see any of the blackmail. Or like, why did she agree to do this? I don't understand.
How like when Peter's walking to the bridge, he does not see James Franco. He's just like, Harry.
Spider senses, no good.
Harry's like hiding behind a tree, just like waiting for it.
In like an opening. He's not hiding behind a bush. He's just...
You know how Harry is like Swiper from fucking Dora the Explorer? Because after he does his thing, he pops from behind a tree. He's like, I got you there.
Harry, no, Harry.
Yeah, dude. There's so many cut tos to James Franco just smirking.
Yeah.
Not saying anything, smirking and looking at the side of his eye.
And then
the side of his eye.
Then he goes to the coffee shop with Peter, and this is like such a fucked up thing where he's like, hey man, I heard MJ seeing a new guy. And Peter's like, yeah, can you believe it? He's like, yeah. You know what's even crazier? I'm the guy. And it's like, what the fuck? Even Peter's like, what the fuck? Why are you telling me this?
Why are you kind of smiling when you're saying that?
Why are you happy about this? And then the waitress comes and she's like, do you want some more coffee? And he's like, oh, yes. And she's like, remember this? She goes, how's the pie? And he goes,
so good. So good. What a messed up guy. Okay.
I like to imagine he's eating a piece of apple pie with a slice of cheese on top.
Maybe. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's fucked up. When Peter's walking away and turns around to look at Harry has more senses than... and then winks. Bus goes by, disappears.
He's gone.
Realistically.
Wait. Did you also notice that someone in the coffee shop notices that he disappears too?
Dude, like, what happened to the waitress?
Yeah, there's a guy right behind him who notices also that Harry's disappeared. He's like, what the
Maybe he's laying on the floor.
He's under the table.
It's like, what the fuck?
Sir, are you okay?
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, am I hiding?
Is my friend still looking? Is my
hiding?
ex-best friend still looking?
The waitress is like, where'd he go?
Sir, you need to pay your tab.
Yeah, this is not free. And you're paying for
my
his stuff too, right?
Oh my God. So Peter now says, fuck it. We're going black suit all day long.
Yeah.
That's when he like starts fucking with Brock. And that's when he starts like wearing a suit underneath his shirt. Again, just wagging the finger in front of the city of New York that he is Spider-Man. Yeah. Not hiding it at all. He is just not afraid for people to know.
He does not care. He's flirting up a storm with everyone. He pushes Eddie Brock up against this framed thing and says like, yo, your shit's fake, dude. And like, did you guys feel bad for Eddie in that moment?
No.
I think he's a dick.
Yeah.
He's an asshole.
And like I said, Topher Grace, great Eddie Brock, bad Venom.
Yeah. I think that's acceptable.
Me and Alan were saying earlier, it would have been cooler if he had like an Eddie Brock, almost like a cameo sort of thing that didn't end up being Venom, because that would have served that character perfectly.
Venom didn't have to exist in this.
No, overkill. The Peter Harry fight.
Yes.
When he does have their like final, or not final, but when they have that like, he has that huge sword hidden and like stabs Peter, and then they're punching each other, and it's a very brutal fight. Harry again hits his head on the second floor and falls.
Again,
So
dude.
that's his fourth head injury of the movie.
And gets half of his face burned.
And again, it's not even the last head injury of the movie.
There's like this common trope of like his own equipment fucking him up,
dude.
Because in the first fight,
The glider leaves him or something like that,
all those blades, they come back toward him and like cut him up.
One of them does get stuck in him.
Yes, like where his heart should be. And then like the second time, Peter slings one of the bombs, the orange bombs, back to him, and that's what like makes him into Two-Face.
Dude, what was that line that Harry says in that scene?
Which, when he gets blown up?
Yeah, or he's like, I protected you in high school.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to kick your little ass.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man's like,
okay.
whoa.
Okay.
But
Really
like,
brutal
what the
fight.
Yeah, it was...
I liked it. I thought that was one of the better ones. Again, not a lot of CGI in that fight. That
No,
was
that
just
was
two
more
stunt
practical.
doubles doing their thing.
Yeah.
They smash through the mirror, and then we see like the Green Goblin's very thinly hidden lair that is like clearly in this room. It's just It's all over the
He's
place.
not hiding the room well enough.
No, Bernard is like downstairs, like, what the fuck is going upstairs?
Shut the fuck up.
He's in bed with like a little like Scrooge hat and like, what's happening?
Maybe
up
the
there?
entire time he had the bottom, the end of a broom just hitting the popcorn ceiling. Just like, shut the fuck up, Harry.
I didn't know this is what you meant by we'd have guests.
He thinks he's fucking the entire time.
Oh my god. So then Peter starts his dance. Oh, then Peter goes to the Bugle. He has that whole scene with Brock where he embarrasses him.
Yeah.
And then Peter decides not to just embarrass Brock, but he also wants to embarrass Gwen Stacy and himself by taking Gwen out on a date.
Yeah.
To where his ex-girlfriend works to
Yeah.
embarrass her and just like...
Horrible. Did not know Peter Parker could play the piano.
Oh yeah, is that a thing?
Well, Alan was
Is that him
saying
or Venom?
that's what he was saying.
I have no clue.
Is it harder to believe that Venom can play the piano?
I don't know. Well, the whole thing of the symbiote is that it's supposed to amplify the feelings.
qualities.
Is it just the worst qualities? I thought it was
don't
any
know.
qualities, especially aggression.
Aggression, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's why. Well, remember when Connor said like remember when Dr. Connors is looking at it in the microscope?
Yes.
And the symbiote cells like pushing other cells away from
Dude.
it, just being a dick.
A bully cell. Just like, fuck you and your mitochondria. Fuck you and your lysosomes. I'm fucking Venom, dude.
Hey man, did you take a 7th grade science class recently? Because you're doing A-okay on those cellular parts. When they go to that jazz spot and Peter starts dancing on the tables and drinking a martini, his dance moves are all Spider-Man moves.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Again, not hiding at all that he's Spider-Man.
Yeah, no one questioned, like, how did he jump that high?
Look at that landing.
How come no one's saying, get off of that expensive piano? Who are you?
Somebody was playing that piano before he got there.
Yeah,
What
where's the
happened?
piano?
Where'd that guy go?
He's like in the alley, just like slinged up in web. I have a gig. I have a gig.
What happened? I don't know. Some guy in a dirty black suit and a weird emo haircut tied me up.
And then, he eventually gets what he deserves because Gwen Stacy sees that, like, oh, you were just trying to do this to impress MJ, and just
And then
brought
she
her
leaves.
along.
Yeah. And then he gets in a fight with a bouncer and then backhands MJ,
Yeah.
which is when Peter's like, I can't wear this suit anymore.
It made him horrible. It turned him to an asshole.
Well, so he goes to the one place where everybody would go to take off their clothes, a church. He hunts back and Notre Dame's it, climbs all the way to the top.
Hate that. Okay. Anyway, you're right. He does take his stuff off there, and that's when Eddie Brock.
Gets like spit on by Spider-Man.
Eddie Brock, very confusing. Is he an actual Catholic?
I have no clue.
Because he does the sign of the cross
Yeah,
correctly.
he does
does it
it
correctly,
in the holy water.
But like, he only goes there because Peter says, "You gotta find religion." What a weird thing to say to your enemies.
He's like, you know what? Peter's right. I do need to find religion. Why is he?
First thing he says is like, I want you to kill Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Like,
He's
oh,
like, "Dude,
shit.
That's irony. He's like, I got it perfect. I'll ask God to kill Peter because Peter told me to find
Dear
religion.
Lord,
Yeah, man.
please kill. I don't think he understands religion.
All the villains in my heart, take them out from the start. You are God. I am not. Kill Peter Parker. Amen. It's just like,
Still does it. And like God from up above is like, I don't think you understand how this works, kid.
or do you think God's like, actually, why don't you do it yourself? Rips the symbiote from Spider-Man, dribbles it down onto Eddie Brock, and then Eddie Brock becomes Venom.
With like I said, horrible fucking teeth. Before Venom even gets up to the rest of his face, his teeth change.
Well, because the particles go into his mouth, remember?
Oh, did not know that.
Good observation.
Yeah, thank you, thank
Didn't
you.
notice that.
So now Peter is free.
Yeah.
Of his ball and chain, and he also took off the black suit, so he's really free now.
Yes.
And then he goes to Aunt May's place, and Aunt May's like, "Hey, you never come over anymore.
Yeah.
Did you get married?
Hopefully she has life alert.
How long has he not been there? You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. She must have been real lonesome.
Oh, I hope my nephew comes here soon.
But she's coming through with the best advice.
man. God, forgive yourself.
Yes.
Right? Something like that.
Forgive
God,
yourself.
forgive yourself.
A husband must put his wife before himself.
He's like, I'm not ready for
I'm
that
not ready.
yet.
I'm like, oh man, this movie's okay. It's
Aunt
getting
May,
better
dude.
again.
Yeah.
Aunt May killing it.
And then, meanwhile, this is my favorite part about this film because there's so many like, meanwhile,
Yes.
Sandman and Venom are meeting up. They're like having their little get together.
Yo, we both hate Peter.
I want to kill him.
combine
You
forces.
want to kill him?
But why does Sandman want to kill Peter? He should just be trying to just get the money. He should have brought the money to his daughter a long time ago.
Yep.
But he's just getting into all these messy situations.
You know, sometimes it's fun to be bad. It's hip to be square is what they tell me.
But not this guy. His main objective is to help his sick daughter. Did she pass away already? Because he's taking a while.
Yes.
He's taking a long
She's
time.
long gone. Peter does the classic stalker, the 2007 I'm in love with you, but now would be considered stalker move, where he stands outside of her apartment and just like watches her from the ground floor.
Yeah.
And then right when she notices she's being watched, she looks out the window and Peter's gone.
He's laying down too, just like Harry did.
She has some kind of like sixth sense, dude, because she felt like Venom in the room. Like
She
she's
has
like,
a better spider sense than Spider-Man does.
Dude, Harry has a better Spider-Man sense than Peter. Everyone does. Everyone
man.
does.
So of course MJ gets taken hostage.
Yeah.
Because she's actually the kingpin of all of this. She has to get the best seat in the fight to watch Spider-Man die. That's what I truly believe. MJ is the biggest villain of all.
She's causing all the issues. She's equivalent to Bella from Twilight.
Oh.
Love triangle. You know, one's Jacob, Harry's Jacob, and then like
Just make a decision, and none of this has to happen.
figure yourself out. Girl, obviously you're going through some life stuff. You got to figure your career out. Don't intertwine yourself in the love triangle. Take some time to yourself, girl.
People like that need to have some, like, clearly she's been in a relationship since high school.
Yes, she hasn't had time to herself.
You don't even know yourself anymore. Clearly this acting thing's not working out.
Yes.
Maybe you're meant to be a English teacher.
Yeah, take your time away from Peter because he's a selfish prick.
Go to Jersey, show your titties, and you'll be good to go.
Don't have to show your turdies.
your turn.
No, don't show your turds. Don't show your turdies, please. For the love of God, don't show your turdies. So I do also like when we get the news reporters, Fisheye McGee and his friend British Beatlemania girl.
Hello there, this is the news report from New York.
I am a New Yorker. And he was like, are you?
I'm from New York.
She goes, it looks like they're spelling something out. What? I can't tell what it says. And then it pans up and it very clearly says like, come and get us, Spider-Man. Like, it's not hidden at all. It's very clearly what it says.
This movie's so obvious.
And of course, Spider-Man takes the invitation to go and fight them.
Yeah.
And he's swinging up there, and him and Venom have this really cool like aggressive stance thing.
Yeah.
Where MJ becomes super strong and starts throwing bricks on them.
A cinder block.
blocks.
Cinder block.
She drops an entire cinder block that could easily have hit Peter, but she was just like, "Good luck."
Perfectly hits Venom. Perfectly hits Venom.
Perfectly.
And if you look at Peter's face, his face is not, oh, thank God that happened. His face is, what the fuck was that?
Oh my God! Like, you're trying to save me, but like, do something better.
This is the worst way to do it. The truck's falling, the cab that she's in there, so the webs are not as strong as Spider-Man's webs. Spider-Man's webs hold people for hours and hours and hours. Not Venom's.
Yo, I applaud her though. I applaud MJ for dodging as many vehicles and like falling debris as she did at that last fight scene. Because she could have died 5 times. She should be dead.
She like catches wires like with her elbows that
Yes.
like it should like that would hurt so bad.
Yeah.
If you were falling even 5 feet and you caught yourself like that,
Yeah.
it would be very, very painful.
Did you like this last action sequence?
I did.
Yeah.
I feel like it was. I don't know. It was like very fast.
Yeah,
but at the
for
same
sure.
time, but it was still like a good chunk of time. But
Yeah.
it was just something. The pacing was kind of weird.
Did it
to
feel
me.
fast because there was so much going on? They tried to shove like, okay, Venom fights here and Sandman fights here, and also Harry comes as New Goblin,
Yeah.
and like also MJ's trying to survive.
It was just a lot.
I didn't even know.
man, like-
yeah, I didn't know where to look because there was so much stuff going on at once. right?
Dude, yeah, when we watched this in theaters, since we were in the front row, I remember that last action sequence, and like we had to turn our necks to see one thing happen.
Yeah,
and like
we're in the front, right?
Yeah.
It was like a full theater, right? And we're just like, oh shit.
oh, my neck, this is hard to watch.
So Sandman has finally figured out how to make himself the size of a building,
Yes.
which is cool, but
At the sacrifice of his English, because now he's like a huge hunk of sand.
and again, New York so desensitized to violence that when Harry finally flies in to save the day and explodes half of Sandman's face,
Yeah.
they start cheering. He's vomiting fire. And they're like, yeah, this guy who we've never seen before is helping, I think.
5-year-olds, 3-year-olds, children,
Police, teachers, doctors.
pure innocent people just watching from the sidelines,
Oh,
not that
man.
far away.
No, they are just in the, like, hot zone, red zone? Hot
Something.
zone?
I just know if I was
All
one of
those
them,
terms.
I'm going home.
We should all be leaving, guys. We should be running away.
I'll watch this on TV. Obviously, it's getting documented.
It's gonna be on the news, guys. It's gonna be on the news.
Yeah.
When he gets there, they do the best Spider-Man Green Goblin team up because apparently they're the #1 tag team championships in the world.
Yeah.
And they can like ride on the same snowboard and they save MJ from falling again.
Yeah.
It's just really good teamwork for a pair who yesterday was fighting.
Yes. Yeah. All of a sudden, now they're friends again. They were just beating each
They're
other
partners
up.
now.
That's what it is.
When Peter gets his last chance at Venom.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that? Because I know you really like
Oh yeah.
This
how,
was
how
really
that
good.
happens.
I think this is like one I was like back in it because it was like kind of like messy and all over the place prior. Still cool, but when he does find out that sound is Venom's kryptonite, he gets all these
Nice.
pipes because they're in like a construction site.
He gets the pipes because that's where Harry hits his head and falls into a bunch of pipes.
Third time in the movie.
Again, hits his head, another concussion.
What's up, guys? Do I have any girlfriends?
Did I help? Peter?
Did I help?
I help, right?
Hey, buddy.
Last thing I remember is pooping in my pants.
Bernard?
Bernard!
Bernard!
Get some food!
We have a guest, Bernard.
Mary Jane turns to Peter. She's like, I don't know what that means. I don't know what a guest.
No
guest
clue. Can't believe I kissed him.
So that's when Peter learns the kryptonite and he starts jamming the poles in the ground and he defeats Venom by playing the drums.
He turns into like one of the members of the Blue Man Group.
He's a marimba player.
Bing, bong, bong. Venom's just freaking out.
He's doing the faces.
Honestly, but still really cool. He does surround Venom in the pipes, and he just like he just runs in a circle.
It's
And-
good. The CGI in that fight and in the fight scene where him and Venom are falling are two of the best like visuals that they have in this film.
Really good for 2007, especially.
So of course the sound makes Venom throw up Eddie Brock, like vomit him out, and then Peter pulls him out and throws a grenade in, and Eddie jumps in. Most metal death in the entire film. He just jumps in after their grenade, and they all get destroyed, kind of, because there's still some Venom stuff moving around on the ground.
Yeah, I think they left that around just in case Part 4 comes.
In case Peter's like, you know what? I'd want to wear the black suit today.
Yeah. Again, I don't know. That was like stupid of Eddie.
Yeah. He'd only been Venom for a day. He doesn't know what he was doing.
He was committed to Venom for only 24 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours. He's only been Venom for 2 hours.
He obviously does have commitment issues because he thought he was dating Gwen Stacy when in reality they just got coffee, remember?
Yeah.
That incredible night.
That incredible. We just got coffee.
I like that this whole time, Venom's right-hand man and partner is just watching him die.
Yeah.
Sandman is on the same floor watching all this happen.
His fist is sand, and when he sees Venom die, he just puts it away.
to normal.
He's like, I don't want to fuck with this guy.
I actually don't want to fight anymore.
This is I gotta get out. I gotta go to my family.
And then, of course, because Peter Parker's not a cop, he lets him go.
Yeah. Yes.
Lets this mass murderer who's killed multiple police officers and guards and bank tellers, just lets him go.
Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah.
He also did legitimately kill Uncle Ben.
Because so what we
Did
learn at the
actually
end.
kill Uncle Ben.
So what is it, Alan? He was just holding the gun in the flashback.
Had his finger in the trigger.
Yeah.
Obviously, the safety wasn't on.
And like got scared from his partner in crime and was just like and accidentally shot
like
Uncle
he just
Ben.
tapped his shoulder and he's like, oh shit.
So here's
Holy
a guy,
shit.
Here's a guy who's jumping from too much coffee. They hand him a loaded gun without a safety. He's walking around with his finger in the trigger well, and now he's about to break when one old man makes him question it. Then he gets scared and shoots the old man.
Leaves him there.
This whole movie is about how bad idiots can be with a gun.
Everyone has hit their head. In
Everyone
this
has brain
entire
damage.
film, everyone has brain damage, does not know how to react logically to any situation.
There's so much brain damage in this film that Gwen Stacy goes to Harry Osborn's funeral. And Alan pointed out that they never meet. There's not one scene. They don't reference each other. Gwen Stacy doesn't say, hey, how's your friend Harry? I heard he was in the hospital.
Yeah.
Harry doesn't, nothing. Why the fuck is Gwen Stacy at Harry Osborn's funeral? This is a millionaire who died.
I would think that maybe like the chief probably knew Norman Osborn.
That's the most
That's the only
logical
logical thing I know.
Or
but-
maybe Gwen was one of his girlfriends because he's famous. He's like a playboy.
yeah,
I don't know.
Harry's
No.
horny, so
Maybe, but I feel like Peter would have known this, right?
yeah, true.
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
What's Gwen Stacy's role? Because Gwen Stacy is the main girlfriend in The Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield.
And Gwen Stacy in the comics is, the girlfriend he gets when him and MJ break up, and he even dates Betty for a little while in the comics as well.
Who does he end up with?
MJ.
Okay.
Usually
Okay,
he'll always end
MJ,
up with MJ.
yeah.
But
what happens to Gwen Stacy after they break up?
You want to know?
Oh, no, don't tell me. It already sounds, just leave it.
If you're gonna watch The Amazing Spider-Man,
I'm going to.
then
we'll watch
we're
it,
not
man.
going to tell you.
I really
Or
want
I'm
to.
not gonna.
I
I'm not
know
gonna,
what
yeah, I'm not
happens.
going to tell you.
Yeah.
And also, don't read any of the comic books because
Yeah.
it's good.
I do like that Connors, Dr. Connors was in here
Oh yeah,
He was also supposed to come back for Spider-Man 4.
as Lizard.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Because I really like Lizard. That's another villain. If not Rhino,
He's the
Lizard.
Amazing Spider-Man. I think he's
That's
in the
what I
first
hear.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Was he good in that one?
I didn't watch it.
Oh, that's
I
right.
didn't watch it. We'll watch it though.
Better than Jamie Foxx's Electro.
Okay.
I mean, that's Spider-Man 3, guys. The movie that should have been like 2 different films.
Yeah, I
Yes.
just smashed into one. Alan, what was your favorite scene from this?
The restaurant scene.
Oh,
Yeah, I love that
Okay, let's
restaurant
talk
scene.
about
Perfect.
that.
We didn't talk about it.
We didn't
Oh,
go deep
shit.
into it. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So he's gonna ask MJ to marry him at the fanciest restaurant he can think of.
Yeah.
And who's the maitre d'?
It is Bruce Campbell.
Ash Campbell. Bruce Ash Campbell.
Yeah. He's the guy, and so Peter's saying like, "Hey, I'm gonna ask my girlfriend to marry me today. So like, here's the ring. Put it at the bottom of the champagne, and like also like when I do this signal, which is the worst signal, is to just like wave or like call them over.
Yeah.
I want you to come out with your what is it, a violinist?
Yeah. Can you have the musician play this song? He's like, oh, their favorite song.
Is the most popular song, and so it's an entire dinner. MJ comes distraught, pissed,
Man.
and he's not
she-
listening.
Yeah, because she's gonna like. Was she already made the decision to break up with him, or she just wants time?
Yeah. But like prior to that scene, she was looking at newspapers with Gwen Stacy and Spider-Man
Yes.
kissing. So
'Cause
she's
then-
already pissed off.
Because then Gwen shows up at the dinner scene, and Gwen's like, "Hey Peter, do you
Yeah.
have any copies of that photo so I can?"
Yeah, and like I guess he did mess up. He was just like, that's my lab partner, because
Yeah.
MJ was like, how do you know her?
She's my lab partner.
That does make it worse though.
It does
because he had already kissed her.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And so that's something that you should probably tell. Like it's different if Peter were to have kissed like a random stranger that he did not know personally.
Of course.
But that's when she asks, who was kissing Gwen Stacy? Peter or Spider-Man? What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, technically it was Peter dressed as Spider-Man, but
who do you think what level of attraction did he have toward Gwen Stacy
I
at
think
the time?
it was just Peter had never been in a chance where he can accept the fame and people like him, and he was a nerdy kid from Queens who nobody liked, and if this is the first time he's ever had a hot girl hit on him.
I guess so.
Yeah,
I
man.
guess so.
He's just not even thinking. He's just like so blinded by the fame.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, that was a funny scene because there's multiple times where he does a hand gesture during shitty moments.
The
because
waiters keep going back and forward.
And dude, they walk past MJ as she storms out, and they're still playing the song, bringing the champagne out.
when
and
he's by himself, yeah. Like, who's he gonna propose to? He's by himself.
that maitre d' is just like, go.
No. What are you doing? What are you doing? 3 times.
Comedy comes in threes, baby.
Really good. All right, let's rate this movie because who's your guys' best person on set? That's
James
a tough
Franco.
one.
Mine's James Franco.
James Franco.
Because this movie reflects my real life when James Franco and I were both in the same theater. So that's why.
Oh, okay. That's why.
Yeah, my
Solid.
friend Jimmy.
Solid
go.
answer.
Jimmy Frank.
Okay. How about you, Alan?
Again, the composers. I always give it to the composers because we always gotta shout them out because
Yeah.
a movie is not
Yeah,
a movie without a.
If it had no soundtrack, it'd be weird as hell.
But I want to shout out Rosemary Harris though. MA, dude.
Nice, dude.
I feel like she did well in all 3 films, like as MA. So.
That is solid. I'm gonna give mine to Tobey Maguire. I think I was talking to Alan and he said that objectively speaking, he is the best Peter Parker, not the best Spider-Man, but the best Peter Parker, just as a person.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he's such a likable actor, such a likable guy. Like obviously an underdog as Peter Parker should have been.
Yeah.
And a great actor.
I do feel, I was telling Alan this earlier, I do feel like in the first Spider-Man movie, he looked too old to be a high schooler.
Yeah.
And then in this film, I couldn't like tell what age Peter Parker
At
was
this
supposed to
point.
be. I was just like, he looks exactly the same.
Mid-20s, I think.
He hasn't changed at all.
Yeah.
Well, it's very common. They just struck gold with Tom Holland because Tom Holland, even though he's how old is he?
22, 23.
Yeah, he could still pass off as a high schooler. The guy's like he's 5'8", he's skinny, very petite. But Tobey, it's very common where in high school movies, everyone looks like they're in their 30s already.
But Andrew Garfield looks like a high schooler in his. That I will say they got right in
I
that
have
one.
to see that again.
That's fun.
Well, I have to
riding
see that.
He's riding a
period.
skateboard and shit. Like it's fun.
Tom Holland's 25.
Tom Holland.
25.
That's a lot older than I thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
Does
that's
Mary
what I thought
Jane
too.
pop up in The Amazing Spider-Man?
No.
No, not at all.
Nope.
It's just Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy. Okay, I'm excited.
Because I believe at that time when they went with the reboot, Sony was really trying to take Spider-Man into a different direction. Like, we're just going to try it all over again. Here's a different story of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then when Disney came by and like, well, what if we gave you like $1 million so we can have him in one of our movies?
Oh, shit.
Okay, give us the money.
Well, come December, we'll see it. Maybe we'll review it. We'll do it. It can be that good. If it is good, hopefully it's good.
I mean, I'm just excited for it.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say something
Yeah, I
else.
thought you were going to continue that.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5.
I'm giving it a 3.
Yeah, I gotta give it 3.
three.
Sorry.
It's funny. I mean, I was laughing, but I wasn't supposed to be laughing at the parts that I was laughing at, you know.
Yeah.
And but almost $900 million this movie made. It's a tent pole, and like, you know, this is what solidified superhero movies. I think coming in threes. This is like one of the first really successful moneymaker ones.
Yeah.
That made, you know, all 3 movies made close to $1 billion. We got it pretty right. That's why they keep making Spider-Man movies, because this one was a success.
It sells, dude.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I mean, that's all I have to say. I think we covered pretty much the entire movie. Do you guys have anything else?
I'm good.
Just before we end it,
What's up?
if all 3 of the Spider-Men got in a fight, who do you think would win?
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't know Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man enough.
I think if Tom Holland's wearing the Iron Spider suit and he just turns on instant kill.
Well,
Ah, man, that's...
let's just assume normal suits.
Okay.
Well,
Tom Holland's the strongest, I
He
think.
won against Thanos, dude.
Yeah.
He was with the other Avengers, but he still went up against Thanos.
Yeah, Tom Holland's Spider-Man exists in this universe where he is a part of the Avengers already. And
Yeah.
what I've learned from life, if you surround yourself with those that are better than you, dude, you bring the game, you bring the heat.
Yeah.
As opposed to Spider-Man, he's kind of cocky. He doesn't really have any other superheroes that also do shit in New York City that he has to compete with.
Nope.
So, and Thanos is a bigger villain than any of the villains that Tobey Maguire has had to deal with.
I was telling Alex this, though. Toby did, or Peter did stop a train.
That
Spider-Man
is
2,
true.
that's pretty hard, man.
Shit himself right in front of Joey Coco Diaz.
Oh, that's true, huh?
Yeah.
All right, guys, check out the memes on this film. You'll see them everywhere.
Yeah.
I've been Alejandro.
I've been Christian.
That over there's been Alan Boo.
Yeah.
You can follow me at call_me_Jesus.
Follow me at Christian Has Asthma.
Follow Alan at,
Alan Cebu.
and you can follow the podcast at ICBTB Podcast. As always, guys, check out our website, ICBTB.com.
Yeah.
Let us know what films you guys want us to see. We're looking to update our lists and stuff. We want to do the stuff that you guys like to do.
Yeah. And if there's anything that I want to leave you with, if you're having a shitty day, just look up any meme of Tobey Maguire crying.
Except from the movie Brothers. That's actually really sad. That one.
That's
was,
really sad.
That
Yeah,
was
man.
good acting.
I was going to say specifically from this movie.
Yeah, specifically from Spider-Man 3.
When he's doing the ugly cry.
When he's
That was
sitting
the
on the
cry.
edge of the bed, just like crying in the Spider-Man suit, is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
MJ,
my
why
God.
did you leave me? All right, that's
Well,
all.
All right, y'all.
That's
right.
all I got for you, Spider-Man.
That is bye.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
Can't be that bad.